In the previous spoiler, it was mentioned that Luo Feng invited Hong to attend the banquet together. At the banquet, the exceptionally deferential attitude of the three high-ranking ministers of the Qinwu universe country toward Luo Feng greatly elevated his status. Seeing this, Marquis Yin Shui was naturally unwilling to miss the opportunity. To secure more training slots for his family's younger generation from these ministers, he also began to intentionally draw closer to Luo Feng. This was exactly the situation Luo Feng had been anticipating. If Marquis Yin Shui had something to ask of him, while Marquis Yin Shui was warmly conversing with Luo Feng, Hong, under Luo Feng's arrangement, seized the perfect moment to step into the banquet hall. Luo Feng smoothly guided the conversation, making Marquis Yin Shui realize his relationship with Hong. This gave Luo Feng the opportunity to bring up the issue of Hong and Ji Qing. However, Ji Qing's family had not initially shown much concern over her relationship with Hong, let alone any opposition. The real obstacle preventing the two from being together was actually the apprentice requirements set by King Illusion Spirit. To become a disciple of King Illusion Spirit, one must sever all emotional ties. This condition forced the Ji family to make a choice. For a family, a true powerhouse is an invaluable asset, often even the lifeblood of the entire lineage. Just like Earth, without Luo Feng's protection, it would inevitably become prey for others to exploit. In other words, Luo Feng's survival was no longer just a personal matter. It directly impacted the fate of all Earthlings. Therefore, when a warrior has the opportunity to become the disciple of a powerful figure, they would almost always seize it to enhance their own strength, just as Hong did. After all, relying entirely on Luo Feng alone was too great a risk, and the burden on him would be unimaginably heavy. If not for Hong fortuitously becoming a highly important core member of the huge Axe Dojo, Earth's fate in another crisis would likely have been tragic beyond measure. Hence, when a family produces a super genius with a chance to become the disciple of a powerful figure, they often go to great lengths to maintain that master-disciple relationship. This was the real reason the Ji family strongly opposed Ji Qing's relationship with Hong. However, these intricate political maneuvers might make the audience feel the pacing is dragging or even put them to sleep. This could also be why the production team decided to adjust the storyline. They changed Luo Feng's breakthrough to the domain master level from being politically motivated to an investigation of a Zerg spy, while also removing the Ji family's interference in Hong's relationship, allowing him to meet with Ji Qing and Luo Feng without obstacles. As a result, what originally would have taken 2 to 3 episodes to build up, with scenes of currying favor with Luo Feng, might now be compressed into less than half an episode, directly advancing to King Illusion Spirit's test for Hong. To ensure that my spoilers keep up with the anime's progression, I have decided to release an extra spoiler video this week. So, do you also hope the production team will trim down the plot appropriately for a faster pace? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Back to the story. After learning about Luo Feng's connection to Hong, Marquis Yin Shui finally softened his stance and stated that if they could convince King Illusion Spirit to no longer interfere in Hong and Ji Qing's relationship, he would no longer stand in their way. The entire sequence of events was now clear, but Hong remained unwavering in his resolve and fearlessly requested Luo Feng's help, hoping to meet King Illusion Spirit in person. As sworn brothers, what was a little risk in the face of such a request? However, a being of King Illusion Spirit's level was not someone that a mere universe-level cultivator could simply request an audience with. After all, under her command were more than 80 immortal servants, with the weakest among them being Marquis Immortals, and even 2 King Immortals in her ranks. Even someone as powerful as King Jinyan could not make her bow. Moreover, since King Illusion Spirit was part of the huge Axe Dojo, if there were disagreements, she had no obligation to give King Jinyan any face. Therefore, Luo Feng had to take a step back and ask Marquis Yin Shui for help, requesting that he send an email first to express Luo Feng's intent to meet King Illusion Spirit. Fortunately, King Illusion Spirit did not refuse. She agreed to meet them in the virtual universe. Seeing that Hong was willing to risk his life and was deeply devoted to love, she ultimately decided to give him a life-or-death gamble. If he won, he could be with Ji Qing unconditionally. If he lost, there would be no way out but death. You might wonder, wasn't it said that one couldn't truly die in the virtual universe? After all, the moment someone dies there, their consciousness immediately returns to real life, and they can simply log back in without any real danger. But this time was different. If Hong failed the challenge, he would be hunted down in reality. However, Hong showed no fear. Instead, he calmly stated that if he failed, he would end his own life. Among the 2 challenges set by King Illusion Spirit, Hong ultimately chose to venture into a series of leveled illusions. Every step was filled with peril, and he barely survived each encounter. With an almost miraculous struggle, he managed to break through illusion after illusion. To those watching and observing, it seemed as if he had exerted every last ounce of his strength just to push forward. Luo Feng held his breath, his heart hanging in suspense, afraid that Hong would not make it. After all, no universe-level warrior had ever managed to break through illusions set by a King Immortal. It was an unprecedented feat. But in fact, Hong's desperate struggle was all an act. The King Illusion Spirit's illusions had no real effect on him. He deliberately feigned difficulty to deceive her, making her believe he was using his full strength. This way, she wouldn't become suspicious or secretly increase the challenge's difficulty. Even after clearing the test, Hong continued his act, pretending to be in awe of the illusion's power, emphasizing how much he had struggled to barely pass through it. He was well aware that if he had effortlessly shattered the illusion, King Illusion Spirit would likely have felt embarrassed and, out of pride, secretly manipulated the next level illusion to ensure his defeat. While Luo Feng held a significant position in the virtual universe company, he was far below the status of a King Immortal. Moreover, as a mere domain master, he wouldn't even be able to detect any foul play from King Illusion Spirit. Hong's calm and calculated approach demonstrated the terrifying strength of his willpower. Both soul attacks and illusion attacks operate on the spiritual level, yet their nature is vastly different. A soul attack is direct, where it burns the soul like flames, corroding it little by little until nothing remains. The loss of one's soul means total annihilation, with no possibility of return. Illusion attacks, however, are a battle of willpower. They silently ensnare the mind, gradually blurring awareness until the victim loses their sense of self and fades into oblivion. Even more terrifying, illusions can construct an infinite death loop within milliseconds, forcing the victim to repeat the same actions over and over for 10,000 years, or even a billion years. Even if they realize they're trapped in an illusion, they are powerless to escape, slowly tortured by the endless cycle until they collapse mentally. Once their will completely shatters and their consciousness disintegrates, their spiritual sea collapses, and their soul vanishes forever, which leads to the same tragic demise. However, Hong was different. He had survived Earth's great cataclysm, where life and death had long become a part of his existence. His wife had passed away, his daughter had her own family, and one day, she too would be lost to the passage of time. Yet, he remained indifferent to these inevitable separations. As someone well-versed in the ancient Chinese philosophy of cultivating one's heart and mind, Hong had undergone countless trials of life and death. His will, forged through the years, was as unbreakable as steel, where no external force could shake him. His path of cultivation was the same. He never compared himself to others, he only focused on each step he took. To him, temporary setbacks did not equate to failure. As long as his heart remained unwavering, as long as he advanced steadily, one day, he would reach the pinnacle and overlook all beings. It was precisely this unwavering determination that allowed him to ascend step by step until he reached the level of a true god, and eventually, even avoid true god. When that day came, when Hong's status in the huge Axe Dojo stood far above King Illusion Spirit, so powerful that her existence no longer even mattered to him, what would she think then? Are you curious why King Illusion Spirit forbids her students from engaging in romantic relationships? While the novel does not explicitly state the reason, it strongly hints that it is related to her own past experiences. In fact, King Illusion Spirit once had a relationship herself, but her partner did not share the unwavering devotion to love that Hong displayed. Even though Hong successfully completed the challenge, she was unwilling to make an exception to the rules she had set, fearing that her disciples would follow suit in the future. Thus, she had Ching read a book and ultimately allowed Ching to make her own decision, that is to give up the relationship. Based on the hints, this book was most likely a secret technique that could only be cultivated by those with a heart free of distractions and untouched by emotional entanglements. Faced with the choice between her family's future and personal feelings, Ching ultimately sacrificed love. Do you agree with her decision? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Although Hong felt confused, angry, and disappointed by Ching's choice, he did not persist in pressing the issue. Instead, he chose to accept reality, leave the virtual universe, and return to the real world. Despite Ching's rejection, Hong's extraordinary performance during the challenge quickly spread far and wide. His achievements caught the attention of some supervisors of the huge Axe Dojo, which officially extended an invitation for him to join their training camp. This brought him one step closer to becoming a core member. It is important to note that even gaining entry into the training camp is an incredibly high hurdle, reserved only for geniuses born into powerful factions with exceptional talent. Just like how Mo Luo once rose from the virtual universe company's training camp and eventually secured a place in the primordial void space, Hong now had a rare opportunity. Unfortunately for Mo Luo, he made a foolish decision that ultimately ruined his future. By contrast, Hong turned misfortune into a blessing, using this chance to step onto an even greater stage. With that, Han's story reached a temporary conclusion, and Luo Feng finally left the administrative planet of the Virtual Universe Company's branch, preparing to return to Earth. This homecoming was significant. It had been nearly 200 years since he embarked on his path of cultivation, leaving his home behind. At the same time, Luo Feng was facing a new crisis. His astonishing growth had become a major threat to the future development of the Zerg territory and unacceptable danger in the eyes of their rival races. As a result, he was now listed as the 9th assassination target. Once they confirmed Luo Feng's movements and predicted his imminent return to Earth, a mysterious spaceship quietly approached the Milky Way. How will Luo Feng handle this sudden assassination attempt? And what new developments will unfold within the terrifying Zerg hive on Earth? Stay tuned for the next spoiler, where I will reveal even more exciting details. Well, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Wish you a wonderful day.